welcome to the Bird Season Podcast. I'm your host, Frank, and we're starting the year, soon. Like, I'm looking at, the season, and, it started with a bang, Bills at Rams, and I'm not going to lie, that kind of brought to me the fact that, hey, football season is back. Yes, you have college football and all that stuff, but I'm talking about pro-level NFL football, and I'm excited. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of expectations right now with the Eagles, and I'm going to talk about it. I've been trying to record this episode. As a matter of fact, I think I recorded an episode a little while back. And see, the thing is, when I recorded it, things got in the way and I couldn't technically finish it and post it up. But, it is what it is. We're here, and I'm going to try to do a better job of uploading, new episodes, new content every week, especially being that the season is back on, Let's be honest, the NFL season has arrived, and I'm excited because, like I said, the Bills at Rams game was really, really good, and I have really high expectations for our Eagles this year. But then again, I'm going to be realistic as well. A lot of Eagles fans, including myself, we don't want to hear the possibility of us not even making it to playoffs or anything like that. But hey, this year I feel like all these teams have gotten better. And with teams getting better, it becomes more difficult and more challenging for every team that's involved. Now, don't get me wrong, the NFC East really looks like it's ours. Dallas during the preseason didn't really look well. The Giants, quarterback issues. Washington, let's be honest, there's the drama over there with Carson Wentz right now and what he can possibly do at quarterback there. I think he's going to do well enough to keep his job, but I don't see it being their franchise. I don't see him being their franchise quarterback. I'm just being honest. If he wasn't our franchise quarterback, what makes you think, and he wasn't Indianapolis's franchise quarterback, what else can you expect, right? But this season so far, Howie Roseman has done an incredible job in bringing in pieces that, honestly, I feel like we needed. And the good thing about that is that because we have these pieces now, there's a higher expectation, and everybody sees that expectation. Now, I'll sit here and say this, and this is the truth. I don't want to be the person to have the highest expectation, and I'm going to tell you why. Who remembers the Dream Team? I do. When we signed Nnamdi Asomugha, and we had Vince Young, and there was a lot of words, bubbling around saying, hey, this is the Dream Team. Philadelphia is going to make it all the way. And it was one of the worst seasons in Eagles history. And I'm not going to sit here and lie. But the good thing about it is that I feel like this year we are more talented. And I feel like we have a better chance. And I feel like the coaching staff are gelling better now. And, you have the players that are now gelling as well. Now, I'll sit here and say this, on my opinion. I think that this season depends more on consistent quarterback play than anything else. I think that this is Jalen Hurts' season to prove to us, the fans, and to prove to everybody else that he's a capable starter, that he is going to take us to the next level. Because I'm not going to sit here and lie. The inconsistency is not okay. Not in the league. Like, you can have all the talent in the world. You can have all of that and still not be, a top tier quarterback. And you may never, ever take your team, to the Super Bowl. And I don't want to sit here and say that about Jalen, being that I think this is his third year with us. But I think that being the second year where he's starting, second year with the same coaching staff, and actually having A.J. Brown and some players around him now, and a defense that looks on paper that have gotten better, I would expect Jalen Hurts to make that jump. If it doesn't happen, honestly, I think that we got to start looking somewhere else for a quarterback, because you can't put all the pieces around a quarterback and not expect them to play better. You get what I'm saying? And I hope that's not the case and I know there's a lot of Jalen Hurts fans out there, watching from Alabama, Oklahoma, and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, the way I look at it is that this is a team that has been built to win now. And you're the quarterback of this team. Being that you are the quarterback of this team, and they brought pieces around you for you to succeed. If you don't succeed, that's on you. So I'm hoping that this year is going to be a really good year for him, for the sake of the Eagles, and making it, deep into the playoffs, because that's something that I'm really, really hoping for. But I'm going to dial back my expectations just a little bit. I don't want to hold on to the thought of a dream team. I don't want to hold on to that. I remember how it felt to think that, hey, we have this team, we're making it all the way, and then, and then just dropping and being almost non-existent, to be very, very honest with you. But this team really has, everything going for it right now, going for them right now. And I'm really looking forward to it. And I'll sit here and say this. I think the NFL this year, there's a lot more better teams. I feel like every team gotten better, even the Giants and Washington and all that. I think that every team this year has gotten better. And with every team getting better, that means that there's a higher level of competition, and that means that you have to bring your A game every single game and not sleep, because for crying out loud, the NFL, any game can go any way. We seen it with Indianapolis, with Jacksonville at the end of last year. You expected Indianapolis to make it to the playoffs and everything like that, and they didn't do well. And yeah, part of it is Carson Wentz, but still, this is a team that made it to the playoffs, I think, the following year, the year prior, and they missed it with Carson Wentz, and they were looking for that. And there were times where they looked really, really dominant, and then there were times where, they weren't there. They didn't show up. And that's what I'm saying. I think this year, every team has gotten better. So what teams get better, there's a better level of competition. And because there's a better level of competition, now you have to take into consideration the fact that the Eagles have to be more consistent. And that's where Jalen Hurts comes into play, because I know that Devontae Smith, he's going to be consistent. You have A.J. Brown that's going to be consistent. That O-line is going to be consistent unless, God forbid, knock on wood, injuries start piling up. The defense, it's a wait and see. I feel like the defense has gotten better, especially bringing in Hassan Reddick, but and Bradbury. But we'll have to see how they mesh when we first play. And the good thing is we're playing the Lions. I'm not going to sit here and say it's going to be a walk in the park, because honestly, I think the Lions actually gotten better as well. I think they're possibly going to be able to win at least 7 games. And I know that's probably not a lot, but at the same time, that's way better than what they did last year. And I feel like we can't go into this game thinking that we got it in the bag. And this is going to be a game that's going to dictate whether or not I can trust Jalen Hurts, whether I can trust his consistency. I need to see this man put in work. And I'm not saying just running the ball, because we know he can run the ball. That's not the issue. It's passing the ball and recognizing your checkdowns as well, because the biggest issues that I noticed last year, and even the year prior, which last year was better than his prior year, was that he was looking for the bigger plays. And let's be honest here, he's not the most arm-talented quarterback in the league. But there were times where he was looking for the deeper plays when he had a check down or somebody running right across him and he would still look deep. I just want to see him improve in that. I want to see him actually, check the ball down when there's nothing up the field, when nobody is open. Just, check it down to your running back or check it down to your tight end. I don't want him to do too much. Another thing is that a check down isn't always bad, and taking care of yourself is the biggest thing. Yes, we have Gardner Minshew as our backup, and to be honest, I personally believe that he's a better accurate quarterback. I just feel like Jalen Hurts brings something extra, and I just hope that he can get it together. I hope he can be more accurate. I hope that he can be more intelligent with his choices when he's dropping back. I want to see all those things because it's going to be the first game. And we're only going to get a taste of this new Eagles team. And I say new because, yeah, we have a few old faces, but we have a lot of new faces as well. And I'm looking forward to Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, and Devontae Smith actually growing together and gelling together. And I hope that this starts, early on, because if they can get rolling and they can get going, and then you have Dallas Goedert, and if Miles Sanders stays healthy, you have a decent running back there, and Kenneth Gainwell, if he can, show up, this year and even improve from last year, I think we have a really good, probably even a top 10 offense this year. But it boils down to Jalen Hurts. Like I said, it's going to boil down to what Jalen Hurts does. And that's just my personal opinion about it. But at the end of the day, I feel like quarterback play in the NFL is very big. Whether you're a dual threat, whether you're just a throwing quarterback, whether, it doesn't matter. It boils down to the quarterback. And we've witnessed this. We've witnessed teams where they had a really good offense, but the quarterback wasn't really good. And yes, we've seen teams where the defense carried the offense, which can happen. We've seen it before, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's like the best teams have the best of both worlds. Like we saw this literally with the Bills at Rams. The Rams were Super Bowl champions and they didn't show up. They lost some key pieces. But then you look at the Bills, and if it wasn't for some miscues and some, turnover issues that they had early on in the game, it would have been a bigger blowout than what it already was. And if you have a top 10 offense and a top 10 defense, let me tell you something, that's scary. And I really hope, we have that here in Philly. I really hope so. And, I feel like we have the pieces. We have, we have the puzzle pieces, and we just got to make sure that they're meshing together. We got to make sure that they're gelling together, that they're doing their job, and that they're playing at the top of their game. Because one thing I sit here and say as a Philly fan, we want our players to give us everything that they got every game. And I feel like this team has those kind of players. I just hope that they can stay consistent and put it all together and show us that, hey, this team is going to be a scary team. This team is going to make it to the playoffs, but not only make it to the playoffs, we're going to run deep and we're going to make it to the Super Bowl. That's what I want, because we got a whole bunch of players right now that we signed, that we traded for, that honestly can be game changers, but we got to see it come Sundays. So with all that being said, those are just my thoughts right now about the Eagles. I can't wait for tomorrow, because tomorrow is going to be the game, and then I'll share my thoughts on the game after it. So stay tuned. If you like this type of content and you want to hear more about the Eagles and my thoughts about the Eagles, go ahead, subscribe, follow the podcast and all that stuff. And I am working on a YouTube page, so if you're not really an audio type of person but you prefer a video format, I'll share that as well later on. But with all that being said, thanks for tuning in to the Bird Season Podcast. I'm your host, Frank. Till next time.